I have so many good things to say about this. I could just go on and gush about it. But, I mean, the movie deserves every bit of props that it gets. If you guys want some trivia, go on IMDb, look it up. Also, the commentary on this is really good. It's got Felissa Rose. It's got the director. It's got somebody else on there too. But yeah, I mean, it was really good. And one thing I will mention is that Ricky and Angela in real life had something going on there for a little bit. It didn't last long, and then she got her feelings hurt because that's what chicks do. But yeah, so that kind of fucked things up for a little while in the production. Can't trust these kids, man.
Well, it's funny you say that because she's married now, and she's married to the lead singer of a band I grew up listening to called CKY. Can't Kill Yourself. Darren Miller, and she's got 2 kids, and she's back in the horror circuit now because she's filming a new movie with Mark Patton out in North Carolina called Family Possession. That's another reason he wasn't able to make our Nightmare shows is because he's been busy filming that movie, and that's like his first return to horror since Nightmare 2, and she's been out of it quite a while too. She after Sleepaway Camp, she went back to college and furthered her education and stuff, and then she got back in and returned to Sleepaway Camp. You do know that there was one that was partially filmed in the early 90s that they never finished, and they included that as like a bonus disc. That's neat. I haven't seen that one. I need to see that footage.
Yeah, I've got that big that Sleepaway Camp box set. You know, like the one that's in the first aid kit.
Yeah.
Box set. So, yeah, that's pretty sweet. It's about the only good thing my ex-girlfriend did for me. She got me that. So, that was nice. And I also own Return to Sleepaway Camp. So, I've got them all. I don't think I've ever actually watched the half-finished movie, though. I need to.
Yeah, that's what surprised me was that not only is it only half-finished, but that they released it and put it out. A lot of the times they won't do stuff like that. Like if it's just a partially completed project, you know. So,
Blake, have you ever heard of All American Massacre?
I have heard of it, but have not seen.
That was the movie that was supposed to be about Chop Top, and I don't know if they filmed some of it or worked on it some, but they didn't ever really get it going, and it was kind of the same deal. So it's too bad we've never seen that see the light of day. It probably never will, to be honest.
Speaking of slashers, did you guys see the footage of the Friday the 13th game being unveiled at E3? That is some intense shit. I have to get that, man.
Dude, it's so good. It's so fucking good. It's got the ambiance and it's got the music. It's just, it's kind of like Resident Evil with Jason. You know?
It is, and the unlockables, you can unlock the Sackhead Jason, outfit and all.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I have to get it. I have to get the game. As soon as they do one about Freddy, I'll be out there buying that. But until then,
well, that's why this one has to do well, though, is so those other games will get made. You know what I mean? If this does well, hopefully, it's just like the movies. I always figure if something like that does well, it'll influence them to make other movies. Well, hopefully they make another game like this with Freddy, with Michael Myers, with Leatherface, all those guys.
Yeah, we'll see. As far as licensing and all that stuff goes, after the remake, that really screwed up a lot of things for people trying to get rights to these films to use the characters. Now, you can release unauthorized stuff all the time, but on a game format, that would be really, really difficult, damn near impossible to do. Budgetary, ridiculous.
By the way, in Sleepaway Camp 2, we do get a Freddy homage, we do get a Jason homage, and we do get a Leatherface homage, so that's nice.
Yes, you do, and worth every moment, by the way.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, we'll get there next year, but for now, yeah, man, I think we all agree Sleepaway Camp's the shit. It's kind of a lost gem, I feel like. I feel like if you don't really like horror movies, you probably don't know about this one, which is a damn shame. Vic's going to get himself a Sleepaway Camp tattoo at some point. I think that was supposed to be his next tattoo at one point, but then he started on.
Is it going to be? Is it going to be the iconic scene of Angela with like a dick? Is it going to be that?
I think he's doing the poster with the shoe.
Oh, the shoe. Okay.
Yeah, the original poster.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for somebody to have the tattoo of her with the thing, and I'm
a little too much. Vic, the first time I ever saw this movie was with Broderick, And I remember watching it, and, like, it took me a minute to realize that she had a dick. Like, it just didn't click with me right away. Like, because I was stunned about it was like a bad car wreck. I couldn't, like, really process what I was seeing.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a great one, though. I didn't grow up watching it, but I do remember I watched Sleepaway Camp, and I was like, oh, so there's sequels, and I need to go get those. So I went and I rented probably VHSs of the sequels. And so I saw those, kind of like I did the Silent Night movie, or Silent Night, Deadly Night movie. So, I mean, Angela Baker's a cool killer, and, you know, proves that chicks can do crazy shit, too. So,
absolutely.
Let's face it, they're crazier than us.
I mean, you know, I spit on your grave. Damn, you know. I mean, it's chicks can do it. Chicks are just as capable as men. I think people forget that. Oh, yeah.
And Mrs. Voorhees was always pretty fucking scary to me, too, so I'm just saying.
Yeah,
because Pamela was just creepy as hell. And, you know, of course, Betsy Palmer did a good job on that. But, yeah, I mean, this one, they didn't even have to show the killer until the end, and it was still a dread there. And also, you know, something underrated about this movie, because they don't do it a whole lot, but the music's good in this movie, too.
It is very good for its time period. I was expecting it not to be that good because there were some musical scores and compositions I heard in the 80s where I was like, why is that in this movie?
As far as Friday the 13th copycats that are out there, because there are a bunch, you know, like you said, this one, to me, is the tops. But I do need to watch the one you mentioned. This one is what The Burning should have aspired to be. And, you know, nothing against The Burning. I like The Burning. I just feel like The Burning, though, if it wasn't for Tom Savini, that movie would lose a lot. And this movie didn't, you know, other than the one crazy, nasty kill, I mean, it wasn't about leaning on special effects and things like that, which, you know, not that The Burning necessarily was, but the raft scene was what carried that movie, let's be honest.
Yeah, it did. I mean, and like you said, Tom Savini, it may not have done as well, but I mean, I'm glad that it did come out because Cropsey is he's underrated to me. I mean, I don't talk about him a lot, but I mean, he's underrated.
Cropsey.
That could have been a franchise if they would have done it correctly and like went on and it would have, you know, done better box office wise. I think it would have made a hell of a franchise.
I mean, it surprises me. I always talk about this, Blake, that, you know, movies like Leprechaun got all the sequels that they did. You know,
They were horrible.
Yeah, like Hellraiser, Children of the Corn, all those. But, you know, you've got these movies like The Burning, and I realize that's not the topic of today's show, but I don't mind making the reference, that didn't get any sequels. Maniac didn't get a sequel. Madman didn't get a sequel. Black Christmas didn't get a sequel. I mean, there's so many different movies that you think would but never did.
Absolutely. I mean, I owe a lot of these older movies to my knowledge of them to my wife because she has a fondness for good older horror. Like, she turned me on to the original Prom Night. I'd never seen it before she and I got together. And I watched it, and I was like, what the fuck? This is amazing, because they really thought it was really good. You know, especially that whole scene, the climax where the lights come on and there's the head spinning up there on the disco floor. I'm like, oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's so funny, though. When I watch Prom Night now, I'm so disappointed by that movie. I don't know. I feel like it's overhyped. I think maybe because it gets a lot of references, but it did establish a lot of the rules, too. So, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of boring and long, but, you know, I do get its significance.
It's Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, she was riding high after Halloween, and then she did Terror Train, which I really didn't think Terror Train was all that great either. I actually thought that Prom Night was better than Terror Train.
Yeah, give me the fog over both of those, though.
Oh, the fog with what is it? Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Lee, and who is it? Tom Atkins, and a few. Oh man, the original. I never saw the remake. My wife did, and she thought it was horrible.
You're lucky. Don't bother.
Yeah, she said it was horrible, so she was like, don't bother. If you've seen the original, I was like, yeah. She's like, well, then you don't need to be scarred by this. So I was like, wow, that bad, huh? She said, oh, yeah, and I watched it. She watched it because she liked Smallville, the dude that played Clark in Smallville.
Tom Welling or whatever.
Tom Wellington or whatever his name is, yeah, and she watched it, and she was like, she said if you thought the remake to Elm Street was not great, then I'd rather sit and watch that than I would the remake of The Fall. And I was like, damn.
Oh yeah, The Fog, and like I said, one of these days we're going to do a remake show where we rank the best and the worst. And I'm telling you right now, The Fog and Prom Night remakes will be on my list because those two movies are absolute shit.
Yep.
Garbage, shit, horrible. But there are some debatable ones out there. Like there's people that love Evil Dead and there's people that hate Evil Dead. So that'll be a fun debate to have whenever that time comes. Maniac's another one that certain people love, certain people hate. So it just depends on, what your opinion is. But we'll get there one of these days. And, I wish they would do their Sleepaway Camp. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind a remake either. It's just that, they're stuck on different types of movies right now. I don't know, what the future is for a movie like this.
Well, it just has to be the right time. I mean, honestly, I started work on my second book, and it's a possession thing, and possession and demonic stuff is all the rage now with The Conjuring 2 and then this talk of the Exorcist television show. So I know that it's going to sell, but at the same time, it's like I did not expect that because I just didn't expect them to all start hitting. And then next year it's going to be a bunch of Stephen King remakes.
Yep.
So
which I don't mind. I don't mind them doing that because as good as the Stephen King movies are, none of them are untouchable, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, some of them are pretty damn close. Some of them need some work. Maximum Overdrive was just awful. And, I mean, Stephen King even said that it was awful. I mean, I think he said he was on something while he was directing that movie. That was like one of the elements he directed. So I was like, oh, okay, well, then because I haven't seen it all the way through, but I've seen almost everything else. But, yeah, the ones that they're remaking, though, I don't know. And then there's rumor that Del Toro is trying to get something started with Pet Sematary. He wants to do Pet Sematary since somebody else is doing it. So we'll see. I don't know. It could be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about it is that you would get an R rating and you would get more violence and gore. This is what we assume from what's been told. But the question is, how would they go about it? Because if they think they're going to shove this into one movie, they're just cutting out so much. That's the problem there. Because I think you need to do like a trilogy or something.
Yeah, just a third of the book in each movie. Do a third of the book. Have the first part focused on because I don't know if you've read the book, but there's a whole lot of stuff that's not in there. There's the murder of a homosexual guy, and there's a couple, and then one of them is killed, and the other guy's framed for it. He's like, no, man, it wasn't me. He fell off this bridge into the water, and then some clown asshole pulled him out and started messing with him. So some guy dressed like a clown. So you get all that, and it really can't be done. It really can't be done in one movie. But again, I love Mick Garris and I love The Stand, but my God, watching The Stand is like an all-day thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like Rose Red. Rose Red's that way too.
Yeah, and so is The Diary of Ellen Rimbauer. My wife has got that too. That's supposed to be like a precursor to Rose Red. But yeah, that's really long too. It is pretty long. The miniseries of The Shining is 3 discs that I have. The one that they did in '97 that Steve Johnson worked on. Mick Garris directed that one. That one's 3 discs, so it's like 6.5 hours or something.
Jeez, it's like watching the Lord of the Rings trilogy,
which I've done and will never do again.
That's a mistake. I mean, I love the movies, I do, but like by the end of the third one, you're just like, will this shit end?
Yeah, I was ready for it too, honestly.
Yeah. Yep. So what you been watching, Blake? Anything good?
Yes, I actually just watched a horror film last night that I had never seen. It's called The Boy. Have you seen it?
The Boy. I have not seen it.
It's got the chick that plays Maggie from The Walking Dead in it, Lauren Cohen.
Oh yeah. I'd rape her.
It is good. It is damn good. It's not intensely gory. There are some gory parts. There are. There's like a throat ripping out scene and then something else. But it's the twist. I'm a writer, Okay, and I think I'm pretty good about these things, and I didn't see that twist coming.
Nice, very nice.
Didn't see it, so I watched that, and then finally saw Deadpool.
What'd you think of it? Did you like it?